Our journey has ended completing some of the biggest logs a level 3 can complete. We now move on to the greatest grind so far that will require me to level up in combat. Welcome to the Extreme Collection log. With MTA out of the way, we can now move on to our next collection log, which is going to be the Gnome Restaurant. Now, there are only 4 items to obtain in this, but some of them are pretty RNG based. Well, actually all of them are pretty RNG based, so who knows, we might be able to get this log done pretty quickly. For us to complete this log, there are 4 things that we need to do before we are able to actually start this log to make this a little bit more easier for us. So what I need to do is get myself a lot of rings of dueling. I will need to complete the quests for me to be able to get the Egger's Roost done, so then we can use the Trollheim teleport. We'll then also need to try and get the medium Varrock diary completed, so we can use the Grand Exchange teleport. And we will be getting ourselves another passive item in the collection log, which is going to be the Pharaoh Scepter, because we need to find one of the gnomes that is traveling in this area here. I can't remember his name, but he loves to travel in this area, and it sucks for me to try and get there. So my best option is for me to at least get the Pharaoh Scepter, so at least it'll be a collection log item out of the way. And I'm pretty sure this will be a lot quicker than having to use the home teleport to Polnavich. So I'm going to go and make my way over to the bank so that I can make a lot of these rings of dueling. I might try to make some of the other teleports as well. It might be pretty good for me to do that. So let's make our way over to the bank and at least get the rings of dueling out of the way, and then we'll go into the questing and then the achievement diary. So we've finished up with all of the rings of dueling, and I've just decided to get a whole bunch of the dig site pendants, because I should be going back to doing my birdhouses and my seaweed runs, because these two would definitely help me in future with hopefully getting some of the evil chicken outfits, and also getting a lot of crafting experience as well. So at the moment, we are rocking over 440 rings of dueling, 327 game necklaces, and 216 of the dig site pendants. So we are definitely able to teleport around the game a lot. I do technically have a lot more sitting here, like the opals, the jades, and the red topaz, for me to, make those teleports around the game. But I think for now, I'm going to stick to these 3 here. Most likely the rings of dueling are definitely going to be a big help, and also the games necklace too. But since we got that out of the way, we might as well go into some of the first quests that we definitely need to get done in order for us to complete the Egger's Roost. So let's get that out the way. So just before I do go into questing, I think it might be a good idea for me to get a very helpful item when it comes to me having to bring like all these runes with me. So if I go over to Justine here, we can make our way over to, where is it? There it is. We can actually just go and buy ourselves a rune pouch. Don't worry, we literally have a ton of points, so we don't have to stress too much. So if I go and confirm that is at least the rune pouch out of the way. So now I definitely have a lot more inventory space. So this will definitely be very helpful for us, just so we don't have to carry a whole bunch of runes in our inventory at least. And once we finish speaking to this guy, that is Death Plateau completed. I mean, if I'm going to fight that, I might as well wear the best in slot magic gear I can wear. Nobody can beat the man who wears infinity. It's a bit strange how Death Plateau is actually longer than this quest, but there is the Troll Stronghold completed. So we are currently working on Egger's Roost here, but I came to realize I just had some random seeds just sitting in my bag. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put them in my seed vault. Have a look at my seed vault here, right? I'm just going to quickly, I'll start from the top and I'll just like quickly just kind of go down. I gathered a ton of seeds just doing herbivore and collecting all my birdhouses. So I'm definitely going to get myself back into this, because eventually there will be a grind where I need higher herb lore. But also the seeds to become my potions would definitely be very helpful in the future when we go into the big grind here. And I gathered so many seeds here. I still need to make these into saplings, those into saplings, because if I have a look into my saplings amount, I got a ton. That's a lot of farming XP just in my seed vault that I should actually be doing. So whilst I am working on the gnome restaurant, I'm definitely going to be doing my farming contracts, my herb runs, my tree runs, everything. I'm going to like absolutely clean this out and get hopefully maybe into the 90s for farming or something whilst we are trying to complete this. And of course do the seaweed runs as well, because you will need a lot of crafting experience. And also, since I am here, there is Hespori over here, and it is a passive log. I'm not going to touch this as of yet. I kind of just want to get myself to, I think you only need magic protection, but I do believe you do need the protect from range. So I do want to try and get myself level 40 prayer first, and then we can try and just passively green log Hespori. So I'm going to do my farm runs, the birdhouses, and the seaweed runs. So let's just get at least this run out of the way, and then go through to complete the quest. Well, I failed to get myself 3 goutweed because I actually didn't bring any food for the last part of it. So I'm going to have to go back and get another one. But there is the Egger's Ruse, which now means I can use the Trollholm teleport. And that is 1 out of the 3 I need to complete. Actually, no, it's 2 out of the 4 with the Rings of Dueling and that quest out of the way. Now I can go through to try and complete the Varrock Medium Diary. So at the moment, I'm just doing the Enter the Abyss. And what's kind of cool about me completing this mini quest here is I'm getting my very first rune crafting experience. So that's level 9 rune crafting for this account to actually start. So I am now no longer just level 1 rune crafting. I now have level 9. So eventually I'll get myself to level 10, which means I'll be base in the 10s. And we are kind of getting close to 1500 total, but I don't think I'll be getting it in this video, but we'll have to see. So we still got some quests that we need to do for the Medium Diary. So that is the Creature of Frankenstrain. And there is the Garden of Tranquility. A nice easy quest out of the way. This will be a Soul's Bane once he finishes talking to us. There we go. And the final quest that we needed to complete for the Varrock Medium Diary, which is the Enlightened Journey. So now I can just go through and do all the steps that we need, so then we can get that lovely XP lamp. So once we speak to Toby, this will be the easy and then the medium diaries done for Varrock. And we're going to get some lovely herbal XP. You can never go wrong with the herbal XP. So with that out of the way, we have done most of the stuff. But now we got one more thing to do, which is to get ourselves a Pharaoh Scepter, which would be great for the collection log, and also to travel around the desert area as well. But unfortunately, I still got some more quests to do for me to actually access the area. So let's get those quests out of the way, and then we can move on to getting that one collection log item before we can actually start the gnome restaurant. And there is the Icarin's Little Helper completed. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the only one I need to do, but I'm very certain that if I'm going to be able to, properly do this, I will need one of the other quests done. I can't remember what it was actually called, though. I will need to have a look into that. But if it requires me to get any of my Slayer up, I am just honestly not going to do it. And I'm going to have to keep running all the way here just so I can get myself a Pharaoh Scepter. So I'm going to have a quick look into that just to see what quest it is again for me to get the bank here. And then we'll just go on from there. And who knows, we might just have to start this immediately. And once we speak to Hassan, that is the Prince Ali rescue quest completed. So now I can just go through and do one more quest. Yes, it's only one more quest, which is going to be Contact. So I'm pretty sure I don't need to complete all of it. I just need to do a partial amount to unlock the bank. But if I need to do all of it, then we just have to go through with it. So let's get this done, and we can then try to get the Pharaoh Scepter. So we actually had to go through and finish the Contact quest, and it wasn't really that bad. I just got very unlucky when I had to fight the Scarab boss the first time. I killed it, but I had to teleport, and we were able to kill it the second time without any overheads, which is pretty sick. So that is the Contact quest there completed, and we get the access to the bank, which is going to be amazing. So now I can actually do the, what's it called? The Pyramid Plunder a lot more easier there. So I'm just going to quickly put this on to... What do I want? There's like nothing good for me to actually put this in. I'm just putting range. Might as well. Alright, there we go. 43 range. Sick. So, We now have everything we need. Eventually, I might have to keep gathering some more anti-poisons, but for now, we have access to the bank. We can now easily complete the pyramid plunder, and now we get to see how long it would take me to actually try and get the scepter. If anything, I'll probably just keep going from room to room and just loot the sarcophagus and the golden chest in the middle, and hopefully the luck will come through and we'll be able to get it pretty quickly. Oh, wait, there's another one there for the lamp. More range XP, thank you. So as you can see here, we do finally have our Pharaoh Scepter. Unfortunately, I didn't actually get the clip of my reaction because I was actually doing this whilst on mobile because I wasn't really expecting to get it, and I was thinking, oh yeah, you know, I'll come back and I'll get the Scepter. But somehow I got very lucky and now I actually do have the Pharaoh Scepter. So with this scepter out of the way, we now have everything we need for us to teleport around the game to the main gnomes for us to try and get each individual item for the gnome restaurant. So I'm going to have to set myself up first, and I think I need to try and do some of the desert diaries because I only got 3 charges on this at a time. I do have a lot of the stone stuff, but we're definitely going to be needing a lot more charges set on the actual scepter itself. So I'm going to get that sorted out, and we're going to also, again, set ourselves up so we can start the gnome restaurant. Within the gnome stronghold, you will find Gianni Jr., who will send you off to deliver gnome food to certain gnomes around RuneScape. Once you've successfully obtained 10 points from the jobs, you will receive a reward token. This reward token can then stack up to a maximum of 10. With this in mind, you do not want to open the rewards. The reason behind this is so that after obtaining 100 points from the jobs, you can now choose the gnome you want to deliver it to. In order to complete this log, we'll need to deliver to 6 different gnomes for the 4 items within the log. So my question to you guys, what kind of gnome food are you willing to try? So here we are with Gianni Jr., so we are ready to go to try and complete the gnome restaurant collection log. I do have an antique lamp here because I was only able just to complete the desert easy diary. I think that should be more than enough with the charges here, plus with all of this, all the stone items that we have, because it's only just wingstone that we just need to travel over to. So let's just put that directly into Herblore. Of course, there's no level up there, but that's completely fine. So all we're going to be trying to do is do as many hard jobs as possible with Gianni here. So we do have everything that we need, the crunchies, the gnome bowl, and the batter. I think there is possibly a plugin for gnome restaurant. So if there is, I will probably try and see if I can turn that on. And I feel like there will be some locations that I may not be able to get to, which will kind of suck on my end, but that's just how it's going to be. If I can't get there, then I might just wait out the timer, but we just want to try and get the 10 rewards done through the hard section there, so then I can go through all the gnomes for me to get the items that we need. So let's go through with completing this here, and we are starting with level 84 cooking. I don't think I'll be getting any kind of cooking levels, but who knows, we might be able to get ourselves to level 85. So let's get these jobs done, and let's see how quickly we can complete the log. So we've now completed 4 hard jobs from Gianni Jr. So now all I need to do is complete another 30 orders for us to then cap this out at the 10 orders in total. So then we can start choosing our own jobs. So with that in mind, hopefully within the next 30, I might be able to get one of the items from the log. So let's just keep pushing through with these deliveries, and hopefully we are able to complete the log before we actually get to choose our own jobs. Oh, Mangle. Second time coming over to you, bud. Unique. Yes, there we go. There is our first unique. We got ourselves the Grand Sea Pods. So these are just basically a very expensive teleport to the gnome stronghold, but we're definitely not going to be doing that. What I have been doing is just been using my rings of dueling, since I have so many of them, just to go over to this gnome glider over here, so then I can make my way back over to the, what is it called, Gianni Jr., I think it was. So it is actually a lot quicker than going through and using my Varrock teleports to the Grand Exchange, and then running from there to the tree, and then running away up here. So this has definitely made it a lot easier, and at least now I do have 1 out of the 4 for the gnome restaurant. So we've completed 32 hard deliveries, so let's keep pushing forward. And just a quick little side note, with Professor Manglethorpe, I don't have to do him anymore because he's the only one that gives me gnome seed pods and nothing else. So at least that's one less gnome out of the way. That is the he gave me a gnome ball, awesome. That is our 40th hard job that we have completed. I accidentally did say at the beginning it was meant to be 34 in total because I thought, you know, it goes 3 at a time, we go to 12, you get 2, you know, maths basically. But in this game's maths is that you will get to above 10, it resets to 0, and then you do it again. So we had to do 40 hard jobs, which didn't take too long. At least we got one unique item in the log, which is great. So now I can actually go through to choose who I want to send, well, who I want to do for the jobs. And we are mainly trying to look for two of those captains and Penwee. And then I think, oh yeah, and Wingstone as well. And I think it's Bram Bickle too. So I'll definitely have a look back into the wiki for that. The wiki is very helpful for telling me, you know, who gives me what. So I'm going to look back onto that one there. So I think all you have to do is you go get a hard job. And then telling me that I am a hard worker, which is great. So I'm happy to take orders now. Let's see, if we go edge there. So that's still the hard ones. All right, so it gave me Manglethorpe, but we've actually already completed everything for Manglethorpe. So what I should be able to do now is that once I click get a hard job again, she'll then ask me the exact same thing to say I'm ready to take an order, and then you just do the same thing again. So you basically just keep doing this until you get the one that you want to bring it off to, or the ones for the items that you still need to collect. So now this makes this job a lot more easier, and we'll get to see how many extra jobs it would take from me to complete the rest of the log. God damn it. Rest of the log. Wow, my English is bad. Come here, bud. Stop walking away. Cut you off. Nice. Aw, really? Alright, well, it looks like he's given us some more of the gnome seed pods. So that's kind of nice. Well, actually, it's not, because that's a duplicate. We still need the other 3. Come on. Oh, wait, hang on. This is Wingstone number 5. He was not using it right. And I just randomly get a mint cake. Awesome. I was just watching the guy on the freaking magic carpet go across, and then Wingstone casually gives me a mint cake. Alright, so we are now halfway through with completing the log, and we've done it in 49 hard deliveries. Wow, that's actually pretty lucky, honestly. And the funny thing is as well, is that now I actually don't need to worry about actually going back to Penwee. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. That's just how I'm saying it. Bram Bickle and Wingstone. Now I have to try and get the 2 captains, which is Derkin? Derkin and Ninto. And for some reason, I have not gotten them at all. So either I'm not doing something right, or I'm just extremely unlucky with trying to get them as my jobs. So now I just need to try and keep going through with the 2 captains, and then we should be able to complete the log. This is the first time I've gone over to him as well. Here we go. Come on, be like a 1 job. Yes! That is sick! Oh, wow. Okay, so all I had to do was come to him once, and now I got myself the gnome scarf. Oh, that does not look good with this graceful at all. Wait, maybe like, nah. It does not look good with the graceful. But that is sick. So we've done 51 jobs for this. Wow, this is so easy. I should not have said that, because now it's going to backfire on me. Alright, so we only got 1 duplicate, which is just the seed pods. We've not got the mint cake, and then we got the scarf, and then we're just down to the goggles. So once we get the goggles, we are officially done with the log here. So let's just keep pushing through and just get those gnome goggles. Ninto, this is number 2 for Ninto. Come on, goggles. No way! I just greened it. That's it. We're done. We're done. We're done with the restaurant. We're done. We're literally done. Are you kidding me? What the fuck? I did all of this in a day. There is no way. I did this in 52. 52. Like, if anything, that's a back-to-back. I actually think that was a back-to-back. Oh, wait, okay, you know what? That was actually back to back. Went from the gnome scarf into the goggles. We're done. We don't have to do the gnome restaurant anymore. I am so happy about that. You know what? I actually collected everything. Like, I actually wrote everything down for all the stuff that I've gotten. So I'm going to show you guys everything we've gotten just from completing the gnome restaurant. So this is everything that we have obtained from completing the gnome restaurant. So after 52 hard deliveries, this is kind of looking pretty clean here. Unfortunately, you know, you can't get one grand sea pod, but honestly, I actually do like that. Just one of each of those individual items there. If we were to have a look to see how much it is all worth, that is 2.4 mil, and that's a big thank you to the gnome. Sorry, I keep calling them gnome sea pods. It's the grand sea pods. So that's pretty expensive for them, honestly, but it's best just to complete Monkey Madness 2 and just get the unlimited one. Don't even try to buy these. It's not even worth it, honestly. So, with us completing the gnome restaurant, that was a pretty easy RNG grind, and now for the next grind, it is a lot more RNG, and it's only for one thing in this log, so I'm going to prepare myself to work on the next log, because all I know is that I feel like this is definitely going to take a long time to complete.